Hey, what's up? Oh, shoot. Always forget to do this. Alright, well, yeah, 13. So check it out. Yesterday, I had a very exciting experience. One, I was just talking with my family about, like, you know, just how crazy it looks right now, with everything, like, businesses being burnt down and protests down the streets, a whole street taken over by a group of people. I forgot what it's called. It's shoot, but its governor is like a SoundCloud rapper and stuff. It's kind of crazy, but I mean, it's interesting though. And the governor, it just like let it happen. Like the government told the police, like just like lay off, you know, let them do it. And it's just very interesting. So I've been thinking a lot about the relationship between social media and how that affects us, because I feel like we don't really realize whenever we're looking at all this stuff on the media that things aren't that bad. Like, I'm not saying terrible things don't happen or crazy things don't happen, but I'm just saying, like, life right now isn't terrible. It's like, you know, I step out in my neighborhood, I feel comfortable, I feel safe, you know what I mean? I've had protests down the street over where I work. It's cool. Like, they literally, like, they just go down the street playing drums, head down, stop at this little four-way. They stood there for a second, went right back up. Not a big deal. And then even a little bit up the street, they had a few more. Just did their thing, went home. I mean, I came home from work a little bit late, which I was a little bit bothered by, but besides that, like, it was, like, I never once felt endangered, or scared or anything. However, one thing that I do know that I do think is a little bit scary is that they're planning, or that, I guess, nationwide, and I guess I don't know this, but this is what I've heard, is that nationwide they're defunding police. But I mean, that's like the biggest negative thing that I'm seeing, you know what I mean, that they're defunding the police, which, you know, given the way that we think it looks based on what the media shows us, it's not looking that bad. And, like, I'm still optimistic. You know, I feel like every single year, because of politics and social media, it seems like there's a crazy war happening. Like, the more I'm sitting back and looking at it, the more I realize a lot of it is just for politics. You know what I mean? Like, I'm starting to realize that the Democratic Party, they don't care about LGBT community or other people as a whole. I mean, I really don't think that senators in Congress making laws really are that passionate about all this stuff. I think it's more, well, I shouldn't say senators, I shouldn't say lawmakers, I should say just the political campaigns and the political groups themselves. And I'm not even saying the runners. I'm not even saying, like, people like Obama. I'm sure he did care, you know what I'm saying? Or else he wouldn't have, you know, pushed things through with executive orders. Donald Trump, I'm sure he does care about immigration and protecting the United States. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure these people do care. I'm just saying the Democratic and Republican Party behind these two candidates, I think their main and only goal is to get these people elected, and they have huge influence in the political running. So they start, like, you know, who they tell to support, to go to, you know what I mean? Advisors who are telling them like what to say, or like what they should say, what they should bring up, which group of people in the United States they should target. And like I said, like I'm sure like someone came up to Obama and was like, yo, you need to target the LGBTQ community. And he was probably like, you know what, yeah, because they have injustices and da 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 and da 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 da, and it's not right. And then I mean the Democratic Party workers or people helping him with his campaign were probably like, sure, I don't care. You just need to do that to win. You know what I mean? Like, I just think it's all political strategy, not political motion. And we see that. Most Americans don't even vote. That's what I heard. So I mean, most Americans don't even believe or trust in their leaders or their government system and the way it works and the politics. And I don't see a change in the political system, but what I do see is a change in our culture, our mindset, you know what I mean? Like, we already have a very capitalistic, individualistic, this is me mindset, you know what I mean, which is fantastic. There are some downsides to it, but it is fantastic. We're very emotional, I'll say, which is the downside, but also an upside, where we speak how we feel, which I think is very, very, very unique to us, and something that I am proud of. But I think like the biggest change is just like having some patience and more conscience about things. Like, we can still be vocal and proud and very leadership-like and let people know how we feel, but we don't have to be so angry about it, or you know, someone says that one thing and we start getting fiery red and we're like, I'm gonna tell you, you know what I mean? Yeah. But anyway, like, I was just having a conversation and I took the stance like, you know what I mean, the media doesn't really matter, and we shouldn't let it matter this much. We shouldn't let it get us so angry about this group of people or this group of people. I was saying, like, you have, like, of course you have, like, some people that are far, far left, some people that are far, far right, but the majority of people are more centered in the middle and more reasonable than how we think. It's just, then we hear the media and we're like, those crazy ass left or right people, you know what I mean? But more people are centered towards the middle, and I see that in my daily life. It's just whenever you talk about politics where people get fired up, because all they see on the media and on social media are the radicals, are the people that are you know, putting up, the people who think that the world is gonna burn if they don't say something, you know what I mean? And I kind of said that the solution probably could be for us, like us in the middle kind of people, to start becoming a bigger voice in politics, you know what I mean? Like, start, you know, bring the Libertarian Party up is what I think, and lose this right-left, you know, more, is he right-leaning or right or left-leaning, you know what I mean? Like, we could definitely start doing that, and you know what I mean? I just think that'd be good for our culture in general. Like, I have no idea about government or politics or what voting does. You know what I mean? I couldn't tell you if it actually helps for you to vote. I couldn't tell you. But what I can tell you is that the mentality of the United States is so powerful, and the way that the media can sort of wrap itself on it, and just like show you how terrible everything is and the world is. Like, whenever you think of Iraq, Iran, you probably think like, oh, you know, war-torn cities and streets, but it's crazy to me because I'll be looking through YouTube comments and I'll see someone be like, yo, I'm from somewhere in the Middle East, and to me, like, being in the United States, because like the media tells me that we're constantly just like in war, tearing them apart because of oil, and we're so evil that like the way I picture it is it's just like bombs everywhere, just complete chaos. But there are normal people there, just living a life just like me, watching YouTube, you know what I mean? Like, whenever I think about it, I think they're like 18 years behind. It's not true. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, things aren't as bad as the media tries to portray it. We need to start showing the goodness of people, not the worst. You know what I mean? We need to start talking about, well, one, start expecting more. You know, if we think it's so bad that the United States is doing all it does in the Middle East, which I have no idea. You know what I mean? This is what my history teacher told me all the time, that, oh, the United States is so terrible, da 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 da. And what I see on the media because of oil, what I hear from people around me, I have no idea. I didn't really do the research, but if that's the case, I think the best way to go is to say, hey, you know what, like, you're our country, you know, the whole world sees us like this, and, you know, we expect better. Like, we expect the United States not to be hungry for oil, but to be hungry to, I don't know, it's tough, because, like, I don't necessarily feel like always being there for another country is the best thing to do. Because I kind of feel like that can lead to war, like World War I, how all these countries would just back each other up, and then now we had, like, something that was so small that could have started between two countries, brought in Germany and Italy, and, you know, in World War II, Japan. I mean, World War I had Japan too, but World War II, Japan was an even bigger role, you know what I mean? Sort of set them up as, like, you know, they wanted to be the big group in between the Asian countries. But man, yeah, I don't know. I guess all I'm saying is I gotta think about it more, but it's just something interesting that, like, I was thinking about. And of course, like, the person I was talking to, or my dad, he was also telling me some interesting points. He was like, well, like, you also got to understand, like, that social media and the media does, like, really affect people and brings up riots and pushes for all these things that happen. You can't just ignore that. And so it's finding the balance between ignoring it but also showing the truth. Like, you know, if we show a lie, people would just get angry about the lie, you know what I mean? If we show the truth of how actually great we are and how great people are, I do think it would make a difference. But, like, definitely not just saying, like, oh, let's just completely ignore that that people are burning buildings down, and or even that, like, you know, cops are unjustly killing people or sitting kneeling on their neck. Like, I'm not saying ignore that, but make it a part of the conversation that most people are good. Like, most rioters are peaceful, and most cops aren't kneeling on people's, well, actually, I don't know, but most cops aren't bad or prejudiced against, you know, people, you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that was just a conversation I had. Besides that, I'm gonna wrap this up. But I also had another really great conversation after that about finance, and so I'm gonna start. I think I'm gonna call my bank at some point today or tomorrow, and, like, I'm gonna know everything, because right now I have a secured credit card, and I'm trying to build my credit, and I'm gonna know everything about credit, everything about interest. So I'm gonna call my bank, check that out. Because I'm telling you, within the next 2 years, I'm gonna get some real estate, and I'm gonna start getting into that. Because I feel like I'm ready for the next step, you know what I mean? I have the YouTube sort of put together, I have my podcast really put together, which, by the way, yesterday, I feel like that was a great episode. I was so happy with it. We have my podcast together, have the YouTube together. Oh, and I listened to it too. Like, I listened to it. My girlfriend, we always get lunch on Mondays because that's our day that we both have off. and I just had it play in the background. It is actually, like, I am so proud of it, because I was just sitting there, I was zoned out to it, like, I was just chilling, and so, I don't know, like, it was cool, because I feel like that was, like, the first podcast episode that I was like, wow, this is actually pretty good. Like, the first one was kind of boring, the second one was kind of boring, but I think what helped is I had a little bit of the video game music playing in the background, so it sort of helped me, like, relax. And in the times where I'm, like, stumbling to talk, because my focus is on the game a little bit, there's that, like, little slight sound of music that's sort of, like, cool, and it's nostalgic, you know? So I guess maybe it'd be different if you didn't play Pokemon as a kid, but yeah, man, I don't know. Expect more on that, though, because once I start learning about this secured card, I'm gonna let you guys know all about it, because this is information that's beneficial to me, information that's beneficial to you. And I just found out the other day that people's parents, well, this is one person that I found out, but I'm assuming if it happens to one person, it happens to another. People's parents aren't gonna let their kids get a credit card, and I imagine it's because out of the fear that the kid's gonna go into debt, but it's just the lack of understanding that people won't even research this stuff. They just know of people who have gotten a serious, crazy debt. But there are ways around that, ways that you can avoid that, and honestly, just education to make people smart on exactly what a credit card is what the most important thing to do is. And so that's what, you know, I'm gonna do, because this is something I believe in, something I've been practicing, something that I've had reinforced, not by my own parents, but by research that I've done into people who are successful, people who do get into real estate. Credit is very, very important. They say never pay beyond, like, what you can pay with money. Like, if you can't pay straight up, you probably shouldn't buy it. But take take on that debt, because if you have a 20-year mortgage, each year, inflation brings the value of the dollar down by about roughly 2%. Well, I don't know. That's just what I've been told. But I've been told twice, so, you know, I trust it. So each year it brings it down by 2%, and so that number that you had, 20 years ago, you're being knocked down a total of 40% by the end of that 20 years. That's basically 40% that initial amount off of your debt. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like what would be the point in buying something right up? You know what I mean? Versus taking out that mortgage and saving money. But anyway, I mean, like I said, I mean, that's just what I hear. That's just what I've been learning about. Obviously, once I get into there and I start practicing this stuff and I do take out a mortgage and stuff, I'm gonna definitely let you know if it, like, what's true and what's not, and what is beneficial. Like, is it more beneficial to just buy straight up or to take the long run? I'm definitely gonna let you know, but that's just what I've learned. So I'm gonna tell you what I've learned from other people who do it until I do it myself, and then I'm gonna let you know, like, what really is. You know what I mean? Like, so you know, trust me, I got you. I'm always gonna tell you the truth. Shoot! I was gonna end it. I didn't want this one to be so long, but man, that was 19 minutes. Okay. I'm gonna wrap it up. Just letting you know. I think I forgot to say this. I started talking to this guy. I had another conversation after the previous conversation, and it was all about, like, he's interested in real estate. He's getting educated, and so I'm starting to build the network, trying to get someone to teach me and mentor me, and so it's coming. And I'm also learning about credit cards soon, and so that's gonna come too. Next episode, probably about credit cards, hopefully. But anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, whatever, you know, other YouTubers say that helps them. Check out my podcasts. Like I told you, the last episode of the Drop podcast, I'm so proud of it. You can either watch it on YouTube or you can just have it playing in the background. Personally, that's how I preferred it. I made a dumb comment. I think I said that Theodore Roosevelt's wife was Rosie Roosevelt. My girlfriend was making fun of me all day about it. It's Eleanor Roosevelt, by the way. Eleanor Roosevelt. Yeah, check out my How About You podcast. I just did an episode with Maxine Clark, and then I think I just met another person for my next episode, and she sounds incredible, truly incredible. So more on that, but get ready. And then also my TheLeafDesigner. Come on. This stuff looks good. All right, so go check that out for sure too. Anyway, yeah, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll check you next time.